Hi, I'm Vernay Lewis. Thank you for tuning in to Ryan and Vernay's Michael Jackson and Jackson 5 Collectible channel. Today I'm actually going to share a story with you about the very first time that I saw Michael Jackson in person. Back in June of 1999, I had been a Michael fan for almost 15 years, but I had never seen him in person. Nobody had ever taken me to a concert or anything when I was young. And at that point, he kind of stopped doing a lot of things in the United States. So when I found out he was going to do the What More Can You Give benefit concert in Munich, Germany, I decided I was going to go to see him. At the time, I was working for MJFC, the Michael Jackson fan club, and I was a reporter. So I went over there on duty. The airplane ride was about 8 hours long. I was by myself. The movie Taken hadn't come out yet, but I will tell you that I was scared I was going to get kidnapped because I didn't know the language. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know being an African American woman in Germany what that would be like by myself. So I had a lot of nervousness and tension, but actually everything was great. The flight was great. The taxi ride was great. I got to my hotel and I immediately went to work. So the first thing I did was find all the Michael hotspots. There were going to be a lot of fan activities happening, so I found out where they were going to be. I found Michael's hotel, and then I went to the Olympic Stadium to take some pictures and do some interviews with fans. While they were setting up for the concert, you were able to go in, and that's where I took, hope you can see it, this picture of me in the stadium when they were setting it up for Michael Jackson. It was really cool doing the interviews with fans because I met a group of people that had been camping out for a few days, and I met two fans that had fell in love while they were there, and they were going to live happily ever after and all that stuff. These things are things like my receipts from the hotel, my phone card, just little sentimental things. This was the Welcome to Munich fan breakfast that the Germany fan club had hosted for all of us. So before I get to that, it was going to be another day and a half before Michael arrived. So and after we did the stadium, we kind of walked around, took pictures, and then that next morning we kind of just camped out in front of Michael's hotel. We thought he was going to be there, I think, around 8 or 9 in the morning. He didn't arrive until like almost 6 that evening. So when I tell you we were standing there all day, we were literally standing there all day long. And they kept saying, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Mind you, I've been a fan for almost 15 years and I am freaking out. I am about to see this man like live and in person. I'm about to see that this man is a real person. He's about to be in front of me. So finally, after waiting and waiting for hours, the limousine finally pulls up and Michael gets out and I lose my mind. For the first time ever in all those years, this man is in front of me, not directly in front of me. There's a lot of space, some security. He gets out his limousine. He walks all the way to the end of the street to greet people, then walks all the way back just so everybody can see him. And I'm just standing there, I'm screaming, I'm in awe, and I cannot believe I'm finally seeing this man. Then he goes up to his hotel room, and probably for the next few hours, he's doing all kinds of fun stuff. He's signing shirts and throwing them out the window. He's playing peekaboo with the curtain. He's waving at the fans, and we're just literally sitting there screaming and crying and just having a good old time. And it was like all that waiting for those 14 and a half years, like it was just such a special moment. It was fans from all over the place, United States, Spain, right there in Germany. I mean, everywhere you can think of, and we just had such a blast. So the concert was the next day. The concert was amazing. I had the pink bracelet, which I believe is right here, with my ticket stubs and the advertisement. And that meant that I was able to be in the front section. Now, that doesn't mean the front row. That means the front section, which it was probably like 1,000 people in the front section. So you still had to kind of fight your way to the front. And funny enough, I found that the further away from the stage I was, the better I can see. So I kind of like moved back, and I ended up running into a security guard, and he's like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from the United States." And he said, "You came all the way here to see this guy?" "Yes, sir, I did, and I would go anywhere else that I possibly could." So anyway, the show was fantastic. We saw a whole lot of people. I mean, gosh, I can't even remember. Well, I don't have to remember because it's right here. It was Pavarotti, Andre Bocelli, Slash of Guns N' Roses. Elizabeth Taylor is on here, but I honestly don't remember seeing her. Vanessa May. I mean, it was like probably 20 people. And Michael came out and said some words in between, and then he finally came out to perform. It was like the never-ending concert because he was last. And he did his performance, and while he was singing Earth Song, the stage that he was on, it was supposed to come together like this. Well, it completely dropped, and all we heard was this huge boom. Now, Michael's a perfectionist. It didn't seem like it was supposed to be there. It seemed out of place with the noise and the speed of the drop. But Michael kept performing, so we just assumed it was a part of the show. And he came and did another song after that. It wasn't until after the show that we realized that Michael was rushed to the hospital. He had actually injured his back when the stage collapsed. That was not on purpose. So now the problem was I was scheduled to leave the next morning to come back to the United States. And I know that this man is in the hospital. So I'm like, oh my God, how can I leave Germany knowing Michael Jackson is in the hospital? I don't know how he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what's going on. So all night long, I just stayed out in front of his hotel hoping to hear some news. And I really didn't get any updates. And the next morning, I had no choice. It's not like I'm in, New Jersey trying to get back to Delaware. I mean, I'm in a whole nother country. I couldn't extend my stay. So I just remember getting on the plane and just crying my eyes out because I had such a good time, so many happy moments. I got to see this man in person. I got to see this man perform. All of these things happened for me on one trip. Everything that I ever wanted in one trip. And then I had to leave with him in the hospital. And I just remember how painful that was. And when I got back to the United States and I heard that, he was doing okay and everything, then I was able to get back into my glory and my happiness and talk about how fun the trip was and, review all the stories that I had been sending back over to the United States for MJ Fan Club. And these are just pictures of some fans that I had met and some of the news clippings and everything that was going out. This was my roommate, Nisi. She was American, but she was actually stationed in Germany for the military. So we had a lot of fun together. And I don't know if you can see this. And then we had a lot of fun at the fan breakfast. It was just an awesome trip, and even though it wasn't the time that I met Michael, that was a separate incident, this is still one of my most memorable adventures because it was the first time I laid eyes on this man in person, and it was the first time I saw him on stage singing songs, and I'll never forget how excited it was. So I can't wait to share with you the story about when I met him and how I acted, if you haven't seen that on YouTube. But please come back and hang with me some more so you can see some more collectibles and hear some more stories. Thank you so much.